Hey Geminis, it's Sahara Stars with Astrology doing your April 2019 Astro Weather Forecast. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you guys had an awesome March 2019 and Mercury retrograde fared well with you all, being your ruling planet. It was complete and utter chaos for me. And it still is, because I'm doing this still in the middle of it for April. Whoa, as I just knock everything over. Complete chaos, okay? Technology problems galore, reconstruction, construction, road work, I mean, you name it. All of it this time. I usually fare pretty well with Mercury retrograde, but this time, not even close. So anyway, let's get into April and what's happening for you guys. First, I just want to tell you to please listen to your rising sign also, for both houses will be affected. Also keep in mind that you all have your sun signs at different degrees. So the planet transits might already be occurring for you, or they might be occurring a little bit later in the month. For your own personal reading, you can visit my site at www.illumastrology.com. All right, with that out of the way, this month is going to be very romantic, highly romantic, very sensitive, very compassionate. But for you guys, you're going to be having your 10th house of career activated, which is always good. Public persona, how the world sees you. So some of you could be getting a promotion, or if you're looking for a job, it's a good time to find a job this month, okay? So Venus is transiting in Pisces. Okay, and Mercury is in Pisces also after finishing retrograde. It's now direct in Pisces, and Venus in Pisces is just very, very, very sentimental, very sweet, very romantic, very compassionate. So just overall, it's a good time, like I've been saying in my other videos, to have a difficult conversation with somebody that might be difficult. Okay, because everybody's going to be feeling a lot more compassionate and sensitive to each other when Venus is transiting in Pisces, just overall for the month. It's also, because it's activating your 10th house of career, like I said, a lot of you can get a promotion, maybe a raise, maybe if you're looking for a job, find a job, but you're definitely going to be getting public attention, okay? So if you go out in public, you'll be noticing people are noticing you a lot more. The 10th house is about how other people see you. It's also your career, your place in the world. It's ruled by Saturn, which has to do with legacy and career and all these things. So Venus there is going to be very, very positive for career, okay, for any of your career aspirations as well. Mercury, your ruling planet, is also transiting your 10th house of career. So again, like I said, for those of you that were applying for jobs, you should be getting word from those jobs if you were applying during Mercury retrograde, okay? But for those of you, you're going to be doing a lot of communication about work. Those of you that work for yourself, you're going to be getting new clients, getting more, getting noticed more. It's also the house of like PR. So it's a good time to market as well. If you have your own business, or if you work in a company where you do marketing, it's very beneficial for you as well. The sun is transiting your 11th house of friends. So you're going to be feeling a lot more confident around friends, or courageous around friends, or just wanting to spend more time with friends. You could be very popular amongst your friends while the sun is transiting there as well. Uranus has changed signs and moved into Taurus, which is going to be very interesting for pretty much everybody, because whenever Uranus, the planet of sudden revelations, changes, unpredictability, you can expect the unexpected in that house, okay? And for you guys, this is your 12th house of the subconscious, okay? So this is all behind the scenes things. This is stuff that's hidden, that's unknown from us, our subconscious or unconscious, whatever. Also our dream world, the spiritual realms, things that are hidden from us, okay, that are behind the veil. It's also the house of hospitals, rehabilitation. It's also prisons, like the way that, you know, the things that we do to self-imprison ourselves, also self-sabotaging behaviors, things like that. So Uranus Uranus is so unpredictable that to say what's really going to happen is almost nearly impossible. But I can tell you that you'll get these sudden revelations, okay? Sudden revelations of your subconscious, okay? And sudden, maybe erratic dreams. Okay, your dream world's going to be kicking up. This is all going to take place over the next 5 years because Uranus transits approximately 5 years of each house. Okay, so you're going to be getting some brilliant insights into your subconscious mind. You're going to be breaking free of outworn habits. It's a good time to, you know, develop new and healthier habits as well. But to release those habits that, or those belief systems or things that have been holding you back in any way, shape, or form, because Uranus is about breaking free, breaking tradition, breaking whatever is outworn, just change something different, okay? And Uranus is an important planet when it comes to transformation and change because we often get stuck in our ways. We get stuck in our old belief systems, especially with our subconscious, how we were raised, the people that, you know, our experiences in life, they all kind of just stay there and they start to project out into our outer world. And sometimes these things are not healthy for us or good for us or even real for us. They were just other people's perspectives or opinions. So Uranus transiting the 12th house is definitely going to be an enlightening experience over the next 5 years. Now, Mars is moving into your sign on the 1st of April, so you guys are coming into April with a bang of courage, okay? I love Mars in my sign. Personally, you're just invincible. You have so much courage to go after whatever it is you want. You are also projecting a tremendous amount of confidence that is very attractive to the opposite sex or to the same sex or to anybody, because people love confident people. And Mars is the planet, the warrior planet of courage, and just do it. So you're going to have a ton of energy. You're going to be feeling really confident. It's a good time to go do whatever it is that you want to do. It's a good time to interview because you come across very confident. It's a good time to socialize with friends because you're very social. You got a lot of energy. It's a good time to work out, to take on a fitness program, whatever it is that you want, to go after, start a new project, because you're going to have the energy and determination to follow through, okay? Mars in the 1st house is just, I personally really, really love it because it does give you a great amount of confidence and energy. And a lot of the times I feel a little sluggish. So it's always nice to have Mars there where I'm like, oh, wow, I'm like up at 6 a.m. and I'm ready to go tackle the world. So it does give you a lot of confidence. It is an attraction magnet, okay? Because people just look at you and they're just like, wow, you know. So it's good for finding love as well because you're coming across very confident. If you're going on dates, you feel very confident. You just have a lot of energy. So use this energy wisely to accomplish your goals, whatever it is that you want, okay? This month is going to be crazy, so I'm going to go ahead and just tell you why it's going to be crazy too, because it's very positive for career for you guys, also energetically and courage-wise. You guys are going to be feeling really good, but we are in retrograde season, and if you guys fared well with Mercury retrograde, good for you. I'm so happy to hear that. But now we're going to have Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn turn retrograde, okay? And these are the major players in astrology, okay? Jupiter is going to turn retrograde on the 10th, okay? And that is in your guys' 7th house of partnerships, marriage, partners, business partners, close friends and associates, people that are close to you, okay? So you guys have been expanding your network, expanding your social groups, spending time with friends, finding love even, getting a partner. Some of you might have gotten married or can get married because Jupiter is retrograding for 5 months. So he's going to continue once he goes back direct to expand this house. So if you haven't been having luck in the relationship area or you haven't met a very significant partner, the probability is very high astrologically with Jupiter transiting your partnership house, okay? But it's also good for expanding your networks, developing friends, spending more time with close friends, and also finding a business partner if you want to start a new business, okay? Also, your business partners will be lucky. They'll bring fortune to you. So it's a good time to solidify a business contract with a business partner. However, you guys got Saturn and Pluto in your 8th house of other people's money and resources. And this includes banks, institutions, loans, government loans, credit cards, anything that you have, anything that you have involved with other people's money. Okay, the 2nd house is the money that you earn through the work that you do, and the 8th house is the money of your partner, your husband, your wife, your business partner. So having Saturn there, your business partner might struggle, okay? Or you can feel like you're on your own when it comes to making money, or people around you have limited resources. This is just some of the possibilities because Saturn is restrictions and blockages, okay? But keep in mind that you all have your sun sign at different degrees. So some of you might have already been through this, meaning because Saturn is towards the end of the 8th house right now. So some of you that have your sun at a later degree or an earlier degree, I'm sorry, it may have already passed for you. So you have to look and see where it is for you, meaning that you already made it through this time where you feel like there's restrictions on the amount of money you get from others, okay? It also has to do with emotional support. And Saturn really shows you the truth behind the scenes of people. He shows you what people are really about, who's really there for you, and who's really not. Because remember, this is emotional support, financial support. It's other people. It's all the other people. So sometimes traumatic events can occur. I was born with this placement, so I'm very familiar with it. Betrayals can occur, things like that, but not always. It all depends on what planets you have there. If you have Jupiter there, you're likely to not experience these types of things, maybe just little things here and there, but nothing so heavy. But if you have, if you don't have any planets there and this is a new place for you, a new area for you with no planets there, or maybe some difficult planets there, you could be having your Saturn return, for instance. That could make it a little more difficult. But usually you make big progress because you can become very independent, very strong, and you also know who's with you and who's not. And to some people, it can be disappointing to find out that people that you relied on for a very long time are suddenly, you're like, I can't believe that they just did that to me. But often we're already aware that these people had the potential to do so, but it seems to be a little bit worse while it's transiting there when it happens, if it does happen. But it is a transit about developing you. Saturn rules the 10th house of fame, legacy, okay? So he cares about you and he wants you to be as strong as you can be. Okay, he wants to make you badass. And he will really test the strength of your relationships with other people and who's really there for you and who's not. Those that are there for you, that are true and genuine, they're not going to go anywhere and nothing's going to happen. And if you have been financially fiscal and took care of your finances and have mostly been independent, you're not going to have any problems. But if you've been financially dependent on others, then you can sometimes see cutbacks in those areas. It really does depend, okay, on your own personal chart and your own personal situation, your own karma and all that stuff. But Saturn's transit here definitely helps you restructure your finances. Pay attention to where you're spending your money because Saturn is the builder and he builds solid foundations. So his focus is to help you become as independent as possible, as financially responsible as possible. But you got to be financially responsible. So like if you haven't been paying your taxes, Saturn's going to slap you with the bill, okay? If you've been borrowing so much money and you're over credit card debt, Saturn's going to hold you accountable. If you've been financially dependent on somebody for too long, Saturn's going to cut that resource off. If you've been, whatever the situation is, you're gonna know, and it's different for everyone. So positively, it is about becoming very self-reliant. It's about taking on a lot of responsibility. So some of you that get a new job or have gotten a new job, or even at the job you are, you'll find that people are giving you a lot more responsibility so you can expand your experience and deepen your resume. You can take on a lot of different things. I was in a position where I was wearing multi hats. I was like the director of HR and recruiter and all sorts of stuff. And I was hiring everybody and setting everything. I had a lot of things going on, okay, while Saturn was transiting my 8th house. But I did learn a lot. And I definitely had a lot of people reliant on me. But it does make you really strong, and it does help you develop your finances and fix them. If you're in financial problems, you'll want to take care of them, okay? You'll want to be able to handle your finances, okay? So that's one of the things. You also have Pluto there too. So you have both of them there. And the reason why I'm talking so heavily about this, Pluto's about transformation, about Pluto rules this house, okay? So he's the god of wealth. So he definitely will get you investing in things and investing in stocks or different things. can bring you into powerful players that can help you grow your finances as well. But since Saturn has now come in there, Saturn, since it's been in Capricorn, has been, you know, restructuring this area and maybe limiting this to a certain degree, and also holding accountable because he's the planet of karma, okay? So both of these planets are going to turn retrograde, okay? Pluto's going to turn retrograde on the 24th, and Saturn's going to turn retrograde on the 29th. So this is going to go back over and see if you've been handling everything appropriately or not. If you've been handling your finances, have you let the people go that need to go? That, you know, have you gotten rid of your financial attachments to people that are unhealthy? Are you feeling like you're handling your responsibilities? All this stuff while Saturn turns retrograde. But it also opens up opportunities for you to invest wisely, save money, okay, cut back on certain costs, things like that, because you're going to want to be really wise with money while Saturn is transiting here. So for those of you that have already made it through this and it's over for you guys, congratulations. It's a super duper transit, but it does make you really pull yourself together. Really pull yourself together, and it's a very powerful, powerful, powerful transit. So during the retrograde motion, for those of you that are still in this transit, it's going to be going back over old territory, restructuring your finances, focusing on cutting back on your spending habits, for those of you that are married, you may have had your partner get a cut back in finances or something like that. It's possible. Or lose their job or something like that, to where you take on more responsibility and more burden. Now, this is not always the case, so I'm not trying to scare you guys, okay? This is just something that can happen. But overall, it's just about you taking on a lot more responsibility. You building yourself to be stronger, you being more financially fiscal, and all of these things, okay? Saturn is also very serious about sex because it is the house of sex. So Saturn has restrictions and blockages. So if you're single, you might be finding it hard to find a partner. Or you may have a partner that's not very intimate or not very available emotionally. You might be dating somebody that's more difficult to get through to. That can happen because it's emotional support as well. So I've also seen people get married during this time period when Saturn transits the 8th house. If you enter a relationship, it's going to be a very serious one, and you will often end up getting married. For others of you, it could be a relationship that you get into where the person is very Saturn-like. Maybe they have Capricorn, a lot of Capricorn or Saturn aspecting their Venus, to where there might be a certain amount of separation or a certain amount of responsibility, individual responsibility in the relationship. But I have seen people get married. I've seen people get divorced. It just depends, okay? It's just like that. But the theme is financial responsibility. Being responsible with your money is the theme. And also being independent emotionally, okay? Being able to go it alone at times and not be so reliant on other people emotionally. That's what the transit is really about. So Saturn's going to be retrograde for 5 months, starting on the 29th at the end of this month. So it's going to be all about reviewing all that stuff. So it's really going to be a crazy month at first, because when Pluto turns retrograde, it's all about letting go of unhealthy attachments too, because Pluto is about personal power, setting boundaries with people, you know, calling the kettle black, being like, no, I'm not going to do that, you know, setting limitations and letting go of people that have too much control or power over you that's unhealthy. If you're in a toxic relationship where somebody's manipulating you or, controlling you, when Pluto turns retrograde, things tend to flare up. Excuse me, I'm a little tongue-tied because it's still Mercury retrograde. Things tend to flare up, and people can act out, and you're being asked to let go of these situations. Is it worth it? Is it worth your sanity to maintain contact with these people, these situations, these things? And sometimes you'll have to let go and say, you know what, it's not worth it. If you're at a job where you have an unhealthy boss that's controlling you, manipulating you, doing all these things to you, and you need the money, and you're like, is it worth it? Is the money worth it for me to deal with the situation? Those are the types of things that you're going to be asked to deal with. So letting go of situations that are unhealthy, okay, also with Saturn and Pluto transiting the 8th house. That's going to be another theme. So there's a lot of stuff going on. There's definitely, you know, having the planets in Pisces is definitely going to help soften things out. It's good for romance. It's good for creative endeavors. It's good for starting new creative projects, writing poetry, writing books, writing, doing short movies. Those of you in the entertainment business or any of the arts, it's really good for that because of the Venus and Mercury both transiting in Pisces. We're going to have a new moon in Aries on the 5th, which is going to take place. And this new moon is about courage, will, energy, but also potentially conflict. So you want to be careful and try to avoid any conflicts because Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars is going to be in your sign. And Mars is the warrior planet, and it tends to get, you know, impatient energy. So it's all about fighting for what you want, going after what you want, being courageous with what you want. So this new moon in Aries for you guys is going to be in your 11th house of friends, where the sun is currently transiting. So some of you might gain new friends. Some of you might lose a friend. Somebody might have a friend that moves away. You're going to have a lot of activity happening in your house of friends. But it's not only friends, it's also social groups, okay? Social media. It also has to do with any type of associations that you belong to. Or you want to belong to. Some of you might decide to join a club, join an association, join a charity, join something. The 11th house is all those things. Some of you might want to develop new friends. Some of you might, like I said, be letting go of a friend, or a friendship could end because it's endings and beginnings with new moons. Don't get paranoid if your friends are good and they've been there for you a while and you guys, you know, don't have any issues, and it's not going to happen. It doesn't bring things that are going to happen. It just basically, whatever is going to happen, Murphy's Law, or is on its way to happen, is likely to happen at this new moon, okay? And we're also going to have the full moon on the 19th in Libra. And that's in your 5th house of love, romance, creative self-expression, and fun party times. So the full moon's going to illuminate this, bringing about, you know, new opportunities in these areas. But also it's for both the new moon and the full moon, it's awesome to set your intentions, okay? Set intentions for manifestation. Write down all the things that you want and put it out there. New moons are really good for that because they're developing. As they develop into the full moon, you start to see results. Full moons just have a ton of energy for you to put it out there. Your wishes, your wants, your desires, your intentions, even, you know, starting new regimes, starting new workout things, new health things. All these things are really good for that. So in your 5th house of love and romance, you can definitely, it's a good night to schedule a date or to go out with your partner if you're in love, any of those things. You could get news from a child if you have children, positive usually news. Sometimes children will graduate, or, you know, graduate from college or graduate from school or something on full moons. I've seen that happen a lot, or on the day of the full moon. The full moon's going to be at 4:12 a.m., so it's early. And it's a moon that's favoring getting favoritism from higher up. So, you know, on that day, the 19th, you can ask, you know, your boss for a raise or something like that, or asking somebody in power, a position of power, for a favor. It's favoring that. So it's a good time to do that. So let's get into some of the details, okay? On the 2nd, Mercury in Pisces is going to conjunct Neptune in Pisces. And this is a day where you don't want to, you know, you don't want to sign any major contracts or things that you have to review because you're just not going to be thinking clear. Mercury conjunct Neptune is like, it's just elated feelings. And Neptune is all about the dream world and fantasies, and we can be daydreaming a lot. So it's not really good for the nitty gritty and paying attention to details. But it's really good for creative stuff. Again, writing poetry, writing books, creating movies, doing stuff like that. Anything that has to do with creativity and spirituality as well. On the 2nd. And then on the 7th, Mercury in Pisces is going to sextile Saturn in Capricorn. So that's even better because that's a day where at least Saturn is involved. Saturn is always about check the details. Saturn is about refinement, perfecting. So Pisces, I mean, it's a really good day for you to do a creative endeavor because you'll be able to pay attention to the details. You'll be able to mix the creativity with the, you know, with the consistency and with the focus. And that's in your 10th house of a career. All this is happening in your 10th house of career. There's a lot of aspects happening with Venus and Mercury, and they're both in your 10th house of career. So you can get some positive news regarding your job, your career, or again, for those of you looking for a job, okay, you can get positive news on the 2nd or the 7th. And then the 10th, Venus in Pisces is going to conjunct Neptune. So then we're going to have Venus join up with where Mercury was conjuncting Neptune, which is highly romantic, okay? It's a perfect day to schedule a date or a romantic time with your partner, okay? It's also a very creative time. Again, this month is very creative, very romantic with all these Pisces aspects with Venus and Mercury. So it's a very, you know, it's a good day to ask for a favor, to have that difficult conversation with somebody that you're afraid to contact because they're mean, or you're just afraid that they're just not going to be in the right mood. These are good days because it definitely taps into our compassion and our sensitive side, and people are just more open to listening and working with you. So it's a good day to definitely have those difficult conversations with difficult people. Also, aside from creativity and romantic endeavors, all that stuff. On the 11th, Mercury in Pisces is going to square Jupiter in Sagittarius. See what I'm saying? This is like a total month of like, anything is possible. It's all dreamy and fantastical. Because, I mean, Venus, Mercury in Pisces square Jupiter. That's our mind, our perception, the way we view things, the way we communicate, and Jupiter just expands that. And they're in Pisces and Sagittarius. Sagittarius is all about anything is possible. Go for it. If you believe it, you can achieve it, right? And so is Neptune, and so is Pisces. So this is a think big, dream big day. Again, you don't want to have to do anything that's detail oriented, okay? And be careful about your communication as well, because things can get confusing. You might misunderstand people. People can misunderstand you because Neptune blurs the boundaries and Jupiter just makes it bigger. So, but it's, again, creative stuff. And if you want to try something new and take a risk, then you know what? Do it. If you believe in yourself and you believe it can be done, it can be done, because anything can be done if you believe it and you just do it. We've accomplished so many things that we thought were impossible. So Mercury square Jupiter is all about that. Doing the impossible, believing in the impossible, manifesting the impossible. Great day for manifestation, by the way. And then on the 12th, Venus in Pisces is going to sextile Capricorn. So again, this is happening from your 10th house and your 8th house of other people's money. So this is good. This is good for finances, for money, and for finances. So if you guys are looking for a break, this day it could definitely happen, because Venus is about money and pleasures and benefits, okay? And Pisces is all about whatever you're dreaming about, want, wish, and hope for, and glamour and beauty. And Saturn is about solid structures, and in the sextile in Capricorn, that's a really good aspect. So you can hear some good news about money or make some extra money, definitely, or something positive in your career. There's a lot of stuff happening in your career house with Venus and Mercury. And Venus in Pisces, on the 15th, Venus in Pisces again is going to square Jupiter in Sagittarius. So we just had the Mercury square Jupiter in Sagittarius, and now Venus is going to square Jupiter in Sagittarius. So this money is going to look, money opportunities will come through with this as well. But you want to, you know, you're going to be thinking very optimistically about love matters. You can manifest love on this day. And it's a very good day for romantic endeavors, romantic dates, things like that, spending time with your partner. And on the 17th, Mercury is going to enter Aries. So Mercury is going to join the sun and this new moon that's going to occur in your 11th house of friends. So there'll be a lot of social activity, communicating with friends, possibly getting word from any social groups you belong to, or joining one, or thinking about joining one again, is definitely something that you'll be thinking about, or at least it'll cross your mind, or something. It's something that you could potentially think about. But if nothing else, you'll be spending more time communicating with friends. And then on the 20th, Venus is going to join Aries. So it's going to be a really good month. On the 20th, you know, Mercury and Venus are both going to be in your 11th house of friends, groups, associations, charitable causes, anything that has to do with the people. okay? The people, being in groups, around people, socializing. So a lot of you will get benefits from your friends, okay? You'll be spending more time with your friends. You'll be having good relations with your friends. You'll be having a good time socializing. And you also receive benefits from your friends, like I said. So it's really a positive transit. It's also the house of hopes and wishes. So put them out there. Put them out there. And then on the 24th, Pluto's going to turn retrograde. We already talked about that in Capricorn. So it'll be retrograding with Saturn at the end of the month in your 8th house of other people's money, other people's support, other people, government money, insurance payouts, credit cards, all that stuff. So you might be reviewing your finances during that time period. But things can come through too. Karmic things come through. Karma is both good and bad. So positive karma can come to you. You can receive money. You can get inheritance. All these different types of things can happen. On the 27th, Mars is going to be in your sign, like I said, but it's going to square Neptune in Pisces. So this day, you know, you might have difficulty deciding what it is you want to do, where you want to take action. It's kind of swampy feel of Mars, the warrior planet, you know, squaring Pisces, you know, squaring Neptune in Pisces. Neptune's in Pisces, so it's like double whammy here. Which means you may not feel so assertive this day. So the rest of the time you're going to be feeling really assertive because Mars is just full energy, and then it's going to square Neptune and you're going to feel slow down, like, I don't know where I want to go, what I want to do. I'm not feeling so courageous. I just feel like I want to be, you know, more passive or something like that, because Neptune dissolves boundaries, dissolves the energy. But it's really good for creative endeavors, starting a creative project, going on auditions, anything like that that has to do with the arts. And on the 29th, Saturn in Capricorn is going to turn retrograde. So the new moon on the 5th, Jupiter turns retrograde on the 10th, Mercury enters Aries on the 17th, Venus enters Aries on the 20th, Pluto's going to turn retrograde on the 24th, and then Saturn's going to turn retrograde on the 29th. So it's a big month, and then we got the full moon on the 19th, okay? So it's a big month. It's a very romantic month. You guys are going to be having a lot of energy with Mars transiting your sign, which is really good. A lot of courage, okay? A lot of good things happening at work. A lot of awesome aspects there. So money, growth at career, and stuff like that is going to be good this month. So it looks like a great month. There's going to be, you know, when Pluto and Saturn turn retrograde, make sure that you go through your finances and you figure out a strategy. You know, some of you could get extra money, definitely. So just keep your eyes peeled for that. And I hope you guys found this helpful. I'm sending you positive energy for all the best as always. Thanks so much for joining me. If you'd like to read all about astrology or get a personal reading, you visit my site at www.illumastrology.com. If you found this helpful, give it a thumbs up. Also leave your comments. I love hearing from all of you. And again, all the best to you. I'm wishing you an awesome April 2019. Until next time.